Hello, so nice to meet you at this daily motivational meeting, reading quotes from world scriptures. These quotes are helping billions of people and will help you too. We're reading the book World Scriptures from the beginning. Please find all the chapters at our Message to Billions channels. And today's special, we have very interesting quotes since we're analyzing different religions, the secrets of Judaism. As the first great religion in God's providence, Judaism holds a unique place among the world's religions. In ancient time, in age darkness by idolatry, God called the Israelites and made with them an eternal covenant. But many Jews today are jealous to keep the laws of the covenant out of an intense faith and at God's favor and their special destiny as the chosen people. Yet this uniqueness has always been balanced by a conviction that Judaism has a universal mission. The prophets declared that the Jews were not chosen for their own sake, but to bear the light of God's truth to all nations. Amidst this tension between universalism and ethnocentrism that runs throughout the Jews today, Father Moon consistently calls on Judaism to take a global perspective. The Jews have also suffered more than any other people. For 2,000 years, they wandered without a nation, opposed and persecuted, culminating in the Holocaust of 6 million. How could they continue to cling to God in the midst of their suffering? What meaning could it have in the context of God's saving history? Father Moon addressed this question in several ways. It is God's course of training to make them strong. It is not it to unify the Jewish people and draw them closer to God. It is to make them fit to lead the world to God. Christians have always have difficulties coming to terms with Judaism on account of its rejection of Jesus as the Messiah. Nevertheless, there is no excuse to Christians' anti-Semitism, particularly since the Jews and the disciples were themselves Jews. Still, the genuine anguish of Saint Paul, who never chose to care for his Jews brethren ever, even though in his view they lost their way by the receiving God, Christ, is echoed in Father Moon teaching. However, unlike Paul, Father Moon does not emphasize the conversion of the Jews. He teaches that Jews can fulfill God's contemporary will through interfaith solidarity, whereby Judaism, Christianity, and Islam each retain their identity even as they forgive each other, love each other, and unite for world peace. Father Moon is supportive of the modern state of Israel as a particular homeland for the Jewish people, but not at one other people expense. He teaches that Israel's survival and prosperity is possible only in the context of general peace and reconciliation with its Arab negotiation neighbors, thereby resolving conflict with deep historical roots extending back to Israel's biblical origin. Consistent with his restoration's approach, he called for Jews and Arab to extend themselves to each other in love, going beyond self-interest. The chosen people. All Israel shall have a part in the world to come, as it is said, and people shall all the righteous, they shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I might be glorified. Further, if you will obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my own possession among all peoples. For all the earth is mine, and you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. O children of Israel, remember my favor with which I favored you, and fulfill your covenant, and I shall fulfill my covenant, and fear me. The Holy One desires to make Israel mortified, so he gave them many laws and commandments. For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his own possession out of all the people that are on the face of the earth. It was not because you were more in number than any other people that the Lord set his love upon you and choose you. For you were the fewest of all people, but it is because the Lord loves you and is keeping the oath with the store of to you fathers that and the Lord has brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you from the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments. And you shall remember all the way which the Lord your God has led you these 40 years in the wilderness, that he might humble you, testing you to know what was in your heart, wherever you would keep his commandments or not. And he humbled you and let you hunger and feed you with manna, which you did not know, not did your fathers know, that he might make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but by man lives by everything that proceeds out of the mouth of the Lord. Your clothing did not wear out upon you, and your food did not swell these 40 years. Know then in your heart that as a man disciplined his son, the Lord your God disciplines you. So you should keep the commandments of the Lord your God by walking in his way and by fearing him. The Lord called me from the womb, from the body of my mother. He named my name. He made my mouth like a sharp sword in the shadow of his hand. He hid me. He made me a polished arrow in his quiver. He hid me away, and he said to me, "You are my servant, Israel, in whom I will be glorified." It is too light a tide that you should be my servant, only to reestablish the tribes of Jacob and to restore the survivors of Israel. I will make you a light to the nations, that my salvation may reach to the end of the earth. Further, let's read quotes from the second coming Messiah, Father, Son, and Moon. Among all religions in human history, Judaism alone was established by a people who claimed that they brought victory to God. It originated from Jacob's victory in the fight against the angels. Jacob did not win against a human being, but an angel, a being from the invisible spirit world. The people of Israel stand on his tradition of spiritual victory over the fallen angelic realm. Hence, they could become the chosen people of God. Thoroughly equipped with the belief that they are the chosen people, the Jews have never forgotten their history and the tradition, despite the suffering of wandering through the world for 2,000 years. Wherever they went, no matter what circumstance they faced, they maintained their belief that they were chosen by God. Such a history never existed among any other people on earth. God appropriated the Israelites to a central role and wanted all people to honor them. He wanted all people on earth to follow Israel's example. Then they would praise Israel just as God would. However, the Israelites could not set up such an exemplary historical tradition. Israel began from Jacob, whom was God's champion of love. However, subsequent generation of Israel could not maintain his tradition. The Israelites shouldn't have been superior to any other people in the world in loving God and fulfilling God's will and providence. However, while they raised their awareness of being the chosen people, they forgot their mission and their calling for the will of God. What is the purpose of the chosen people? The chosen people should love the world and on God's behalf, and as God representatives set the example for all in loving the world. However, the people of Israel did not fulfill the exalted calling. Uh, though they were supposed to give God's love to all the world, they wanted to receive love instead. That was the problem. What is the path that God has decreed for Israel and Judaism? It is a path with universal significance. It is the universal mission. God chose the one specific people, Israel, to fulfill mission not only for themselves but for humankind. Besides the Judaism, there are numerous religions in the world, such as Buddhism, Confucianism, and Hinduism. The religion differ, but they must not fight over another. Instead, they must travel the road to one unified world. Likewise, the people of the world must not fight one another, but become one. There must be one teaching that can lead all the religions not to fight but to unite. The Jewish people, in particular, who have the responsibility to lead the world's people and unite them into one, should have such a teaching because the realization of God's ideal of creation is universal. Judaism and Jewish people should uphold a teaching that corresponds to God's ideal of creation. So powerful quotes for today and secrets. If you have difficulties today, please watch one more time this video, share this video as we end this billion Happy Life Subscribers Marathon. Contact me to receive a consultation and to become a member of my club, Heavenly Parents Holy Community globally. Wish you a great blessed day. Stay happy, healthy. All the best. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye bye.